Welcome to Mother-Daughter Projects. I'm Vicki. I updated my patio because of a hurricane. And you're wondering, damage? No damage. But before every hurricane, you have to take all the loose items out of your yard and secure them in the garage or secure them some way, and that's what I did. So after the hurricane passed, which didn't hit, which was a really good thing, I decided to put everything back, and I came back here and I looked and I thought, ooh, it's so dirty. I need to clean it. Well, you know what? It took a lot more than cleaning, so take a look at what I did. I didn't really want to drag the pressure washer out, so I started by trying to clean the patio with detergent and a brush. Well, that was way too slow going, so I did pull out the Ryobi pressure washer to get the job done. These cracks were repaired many years ago, and I never liked the way they looked. I used a 3-in-1 putty tool to start the removal process. Again, this was too slow and labor-intensive, so I fitted a multi-tool with a scraper blade and easily got off the rest of that old crack filler. I also used a carbon rasp to help clean up some of the areas. I picked up a quart of ready-mixed concrete patch from the Home Depot. I gave it a bit of a stir using a rockler putty blade. This tool is small and very flexible, making it the perfect choice to work the concrete patch into the cracks. As you can see, there were a lot of cracks to repair. The patio still looks dirty at this point, but in reality, those dark spots are damaged concrete in areas where the previous paint has worn away. After finishing the crack repair, the state of the splashing was just calling out to be cleaned and painted, which I did. Also cleaned that siding as well. This roll-around stool was the MVP of all the painting and cleaning. Then the fence was looking a little shabby, so I cleaned and painted it too. And the gutters were looking a little dirty, so I cleaned those too. When working above your head, wear rubber gloves with the top turned down, which will keep water from dripping down your arm and into your face. Before I started to paint, I realized this crack along the foundation needed filling as well. That was easy to do with a gloved finger to spread and smooth. Finally, time to paint! I cut in all the areas next to the foundation, fence, steps, and shed to make it easier to come back and roll paint on later. Yeah, I started with this small handled roller, but soon saw the error of my ways, which you'll see later. Those husky knee pads, though, really saved my knees. This is where I ran out of paint and patience for using that small roller. I headed back to the Home Depot to get more paint and a long handle for the roller. I thought a broom handle would work, but the threading on the paint roller was not compatible, so I bought this one by Mr. Longarm. Funny name, but descriptive. I also bought a roller that was specific for using on concrete. Much easier on my knees and back. Yes, I did paint in my socks as I didn't want to track dirt onto the area that was already freshly painted and dry. This was one coat of paint, but I did go back and cover some of those areas that were dark. This entire thing could have used a full second coat, but you know what? I was done. What we learned? Well, I learned I should have made a plan. When I started cleaning the patio, I thought really that was all I was going to do, is just get rid of the really dark staining, and it ended up being way more involved than that. And if I'd really looked at this patio and really looked at the siding and the places that were dirty, I would have done things in a whole different order, because I did a lot of things after I painted, which you have to be very careful with the paint. My advice to you is look at your project, make a plan, do the steps that are a logical order, and then make sure you have all the tools and the supplies that you need. And speaking of supplies, buy more paint than you think you're going to need. This paint, because it was so damaged, really used a lot of paint, and I probably could have used 3 gallons or maybe in a 5-gallon bucket of paint, because it really soaked it up. One thing you probably noticed is the new vinyl expansion joints in the patio. Well, we didn't talk about those in this video, but we have another video that's going to talk all about that. But we replaced those old wooden ones with the vinyl. And that's another thing, if we were to do this again, we would take those old wooden expansion joints out first and then paint. Well, so I hope you like this video. Now, we have 2 videos about the hurricane that I referenced at the beginning, and you can see how we prep for those and what happens. Please like and subscribe to our newsletter. It comes out once a week. It's free. I write it, and I hope you would enjoy it. So we'll see you next time.